Well, they can certainly tune in, or they can catch it online. I believe that Perry has been fairly has been regularly streaming it on his YouTube channel, so you definitely have the access there.
Yes, KQ1X.
I just started the live stream, so if you want to search for Ladies Night 4.0 on YouTube, or search the AM window on YouTube, or twitch.tv/the AM window, or if you're friends with me at Facebook, you can find it. But that's the story. Back to you, Carrie.
That was so professional, Perry, and back to you. All right. So we're up and running here a couple minutes ago, and we'll see who is out here this evening. So yeah, I'm hopeful, Clark. Like I said, I put some more feelers out, and like I said, I spoke with Peter, and he was going to pass the word around to the all the YLs in his club, and they're all in the Northeast corridor. So I mean, of course, everybody's welcome from everywhere, but it's just a matter of whether or not conditions are right.
Outstanding.
Hi, Carrie. K1KBW.
Hi, Bob. You know what Ladies Night was missing? A monkey puppet. You need like a monkey puppet introduction.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. Well, maybe I'll sneak one in there tonight if you have it tonight. Tell Ken I sent him them items on the 5th of this month. That was 15 days ago, and the day before yesterday it was in Massachusetts. So I think they sent it to Bum Screw Egypt first, and then I think they sent it up to Canada, and now it's coming back again.
All right, he hears you. He's out on the deck and he's listening in. He's just not near the microphone, but he said he heard you. So the package will arrive. I was concerned. I was hoping, it didn't make it in the mail into the house and then just, disappear, because that happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's last time I sent them. They did the same thing. They sent it north, and then they came back to Wallingford, and then it went to Jersey. I don't know what I think there must be a Manahawk in New Hampshire or something, and they keep sending it there. I don't know. Well, we just got our mail a few minutes ago. They're running so late. Their Wallingford mail is just all screwed up. Anyway, all right, let me get out here. Just to let you know that it's on its way. I don't know when you're going to get it, but anyway, K1KBW.
All right, very good, Bob. And guess what? It's 7 p.m. Ding, ding, ding. So guess what? It is officially Ladies Night. So let's see who is all out there to check in to Ladies Night 4.0. This is KC2UFU.
Well, there you go. Yeah, man, I'm on my new microphone, and I'll start it off for you. Whoops. Monkey puppet is broke. There you go. All right, later. K1KBW.
Thanks, Bob. All right, ladies, where are you? This is KC2UFU doing roll call here for Ladies Night 4.0.
KB3 OUK, Carrie, this is Whisker 3, Oscar Hotel Flight. Aaron.
Did you say Whisker? Hi, Karen.
I was wondering why
how are you?
Look at me so weird.
Karen, checking in.
All right, Whiskey 3, Oscar Hotel.
OH household.
I go by Karen.
Glad to hear you.
I don't have Whisker.
Who else is here is KC2UFU?
KB3 OUK.
And there is Miss Sarah. How are you this evening? KB3 OUK. Saying it out loud as I'm writing it down. Make sure I try to keep some semblance of order here. And Very good. Any other check-ins for Ladies' Night 4.0? And Miss Priscilla is back. So glad to hear you from the K1 GTX household. Any other check-ins? KC2UFU.
W2PHL Light, that's Jennifer, the sidekick of Philip.
Oh, God.
But are you really the sidekick, Jennifer?
No, I'm actually the commander, but, you know, I want to make him feel better.
Okay, well, I would say we leave it unsaid, but it's too late. It's been said. All right, very good. Anyone else would like to check in for Ladies' Night 4.0? This is KC2UFU. All right, well, we will get things rolling here. And maybe some other ladies are running late. Maybe they're getting their hair done, since you can finally do that. We can't until Monday. So you better believe that I've already called ahead. And of course, I have to, you know, it'll be a couple of days before I actually get in. But I will be so glad to sit down and get my hair cut. Because this whole, like, pebbles thing I got going on with my hair right now just really isn't working for me. Okay. So today is the first day of summer, so that's pretty exciting. It certainly felt like the first day of summer. I don't know about in everybody else's neck of the woods, but it was certainly hot and humid here, that's for sure. And the weather's a little temperamental. I heard we're going to be going up into the 90s, so I guess we're going to go full swing. I was wondering, did anybody make any plans for this summer? Is anybody looking forward to anything this summer? Now things are calming down, and it looks like we can actually might be able to do some things outside and with everybody. Just wondering what you might have planned for the summertime. Let me start with you, Jennifer. Got anything cooking for this summer? KC2UFU.
Oh, I wish, Carrie. We're still planning. Actually, my boss told me that I'm working this summer a few days ago, and that was a little surprise because I'm not supposed to be working in the summer. So that was a little bit chaotic, calling the union saying, am I supposed to be working this summer? Which they told me, no, you're not a 10-month AP, but 12-month AP. But yes, I'll probably work a little bit during the summer. We've been looking into plans, but right now, no one's really, there's no travel allowed, nothing really available to do. So looks like we'll be fixing up the house.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that, fixing up the house. And I know in my line of work, I work for, you know, a hardware lumber company. And we have been beyond busy, like crazy busy. And it's just, you know, people have a lot of time and you know, are not going away, or their plans may have had to push them, you know, forward a little bit or whatever. So I guess while everybody's been sitting around the house, they've been looking at stuff and going, you know, this room could really use some new paint, or let's put that addition on that, you know, we never did because, you know, we've all been cramped up here. We really need that great room, or so on and so forth. So we have been beyond busy, and now we're into our busy season. So it's like been kind of double. So go ahead, fix up the house. Tell Phil to get them paint rollers out and, you know, measuring tape and put them to work.
That's right, Carrie. He needs to get to work. He actually painted the bathroom, so we're going to give him credit for that. W2BHL, back to you.
All right. You get. It's not street cred. I guess it's home cred. You get home cred for that, Phil. We'll give you some points for that. How about you, Karen? What do you got? I know you've been doing a lot of virtual running and stuff like that, but Are you getting back out on the path there now? And do you guys have any plans for this summer? W30H KC2UFU.
Hi, yeah, just been no more virtual races. Got one coming up in September, but we did all that housework at the start of the COVID virus in preparation for hopefully having a graduation party for our son this summer, if we can do so. We have one that graduated from high school and one that graduated from college, but the college one is off to the Navy. So we're hoping we can find a day that works, that we can keep it under 50 and socially distanced. That's where we are here in Maryland now. We do have a vacation planned in August for the Outer Banks in North Carolina that was booked back in probably January, certainly before the virus started. So we're hoping it's a family, two families, my side and his, and we're just hoping we can still do that, but waiting it out. We still have over a month for things to hopefully start getting better. So yeah, it would be nice. It did seem like we skipped spring and went straight to summer. We had thunderstorms all day today and hot and humid, like you said, Carrie. But looking forward to the warmer weather.
Yep. Yeah, we look forward to it until it gets really, really hot. How about you, Miss Sarah? I know you got the little one, but you know, I'm sure you guys are probably ready to like bug out a little bit and get out and do some things. KB30UK, KC2UFU.
Yeah, so we did have a planned trip in August. There's a truck show up in Cortland, New York we go to every year. And we had that planned, and then they told us a couple of weeks, maybe like 2 weeks ago, oh, we're going to cancel the truck show. And so, like, my heart dropped because it's not like an ordinary truck show. It's most of the people there. It's like ham radio. It's like a big family, and it's kind of like a family reunion every year. So, you know, like every year you meet new people, and but you know, it's getting together with friends, and it's just a lot of fun. And so we were really disappointed. You know, we had to kind of cancel that trip, and we're not sure if we're going to be able to do anything else. I really wanted to go this year, especially with the baby, and, you know, get out, especially since being cooped up all spring. So that's kind of been a bummer. But yeah, we're not sure if we're going to get to do anything else this year. And so that kind of stinks, but we're just trying to make the best of it. KB30 UK.
Yep, it's all we could do. It's not the you weren't going to the Trucks Gone Wild. Is that the show you're talking about?
No, this is the Brockway Truck Show.
Oh, okay. Because I know my son, I think it's in August, or it might be maybe the beginning of September or whatever. He goes to somewhere in New York to Trucks Gone Wild, which is, I guess, exactly what it sounds like. It's like, you know, I guess you just rough camp out there or whatever, and there's just trucks and mud and all that good stuff that they really like. I was just wondering if that was it. But anyway, how about you, Miss Priscilla? Do you have anything planned for the summer? KC2UFU.
Hi, Carrie. Hi, everybody. We have hopefully a little camping outing with our camper in the next couple of weeks coming up. Looking forward to that. Maybe a couple of times. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is I don't know if we have a comfort station. Maybe that's for my anyway, that should be fun. And other than that, we just put our air conditioner in today, and that is my least favorite thing to do. It's really nice and warm here, but I don't plan on putting air conditioner in. It always involves arguments and unpleasantness. It wasn't too bad. Feel good in here now. Anyway, back to you, Karen.
Ah, yes. Putting the air conditioners in. Those little things that you have to get done right as summer comes on. Actually, today we cleaned our hot tub. I decided this morning because it's a chore because it's it's winterized and everything else for the winter or whatever. I decided to clean that up today, and it of course became more of a chore than it should have been. And I actually almost have you ever hurt yourself or almost really hurt yourself doing something and then asked yourself after it happened, what the heck was I thinking? Like, you just do something that's just really dumb. It's like spur of the moment. Today, I was helping Ken get our hot tub going for the season, and he asked me to grab the garden hose for him. Our hose is set up near our vegetable garden, because obviously I'm watering the garden every day, so it just makes sense for it to be hooked up over there, and it hangs on a hook. I was standing on our deck, which is about 6 feet above our garden, and I grabbed the hose, and I had to tug on it to get the hose to reach the hot tub. It needed maybe another foot or so to get it over there. I pulled on the hose. It got hooked on one of our trellises and caused the trellis to start falling over onto the garden. So without even thinking, I leaned over the deck to grab the trellis, which I did catch, but found myself headed face first into the garden. But by some miracle, I threw the trellis backwards to lean on the fence, and I grabbed the railing just in time to keep me from hitting my head and going head first and breaking my neck into the garden. And after the initial recovery, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, I could have broken my neck, but it was just like an instantaneous reaction, like something was happening and you're just like, try to stop it, and I really could have hurt myself. And then of course, Ken, who was under the deck, he didn't see anything. He didn't see me almost fall in or whatever. And I said out loud, what was I thinking or whatever, and he goes, did you say something? Is everything all right? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm fine. I almost just took a header into the garden. Why do we do that? I guess it's just an instant reaction. Something's happening and you don't want it to happen, and man, I almost really hurt myself today. Have you ever done anything like that, Jennifer? Almost, it's just a reaction, almost hurt yourself or really hurt yourself? Casey, to you, up you.
Well, Carrie, I'm trying to think about, your hot tub story. We have a hot tub, and I'm thinking about, when Phil first built us, it's a blow-up hot tub, and he first built it, he was like, hey, I have a surprise for you. And I go in the backyard, and it's a hot tub in a tent. And because he built a tent around it because, I get mosquito bites and I swell up, so he wanted to make sure the mosquitoes couldn't get to me. And I remember thinking, oh, my God, this is ridiculous. But it turned out to be the greatest thing ever. I'm sure you'll agree. But now I'm trying to think of stories where I was doing something stupid and I got injured. And I'm like, it's like, I don't know. I'm pretty I get a lot of injuries.
It shouldn't be too hard.
Oh, please. It's like, you shouldn't be too hard. I get a lot of injuries, but nothing too serious. I did fall off a wall once unloading a truck when I worked in retail. I fell off a 10-foot wall. And so I guess that wasn't, but, we had to, I was part of management. We had to unload the truck. I fell off a 10-foot wall. I was making my daughter breakfast a few years ago, and it sparked onto the flame from, who knows, something sparked from the pan onto my robe, and I caught on fire, literally caught on fire, and I turned to my husband and said, I'm on fire, and he just kind of looked at me at one point, and I obviously got the robe off and dropped and rolled, and then he got me off being on fire, but miraculously I was not seriously injured. So I'm trying to think, it was like one of those things where it's like I get injured.
You're so hot.
I know. He's making fun of me in the background, sorry. I get injured, but I'm trying to think of stupid things I've done. I'm always kind of tripping. I have a problem going downstairs. Every time we go downstairs, every time we've gone to this, I'm trying to think now, when we go to, we've gone to Italy, and he takes me to this opera in a house. And it's amazing. They actually do an opera in a house, and you go to different rooms of the opera. And we've gone there twice, and every time we go there, I trip down the steps. And he's caught me every single time. So I can't say I've gotten injured, but it's like a stupid almost injury. So maybe that counts. Back to you, Carrie, WTPHS.
So you're telling us, Jennifer, that you're a trip hazard. It's good to know. Oh, let me just, I forgot to see if anybody else wants to check in for Ladies' Night. This is KC2UFU. Okay. Didn't want to forget anybody. How about you, Miss Karen? Have you ever done anything and then afterwards been like, what the hell were you thinking? W3OH KC2UFU.
Well, you guys have some serious stories, Carrie and Jennifer. Mine aren't, those are pretty bad. I'm definitely a trip hazard, so I can relate to that. I trip all the time, but I laugh all the time at myself, but I do laugh at other people when they trip as soon as I see that they're okay. But typically it is running. When I run, when I trail run, which isn't too often, because the last time I did it, I face planted several times. It's not very pretty. But I took our puppy German Shepherd out, I guess about 2 months ago, and I thought, okay, she was maybe 5 months old at the time. And I thought I'd take her on a little run with me, and she's really good. She behaves really well for being so young, but she's very easily spooked. And I had taken her out a couple of times, and my fear finally came true. She got spooked over a balloon on a mailbox and just cut in front of me, and I literally fell over her and face planted, and I heard myself grunt, which is, I don't know why that sound came out. And it was in my neighborhood, so I looked around and prayed nobody saw me, and the dog was just staring at me. But like I said, I just usually do crazy things like that. Fortunately, I don't think I've ever broken anything. My worst instance was cheering on the Baltimore Ravens during a Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, oh my gosh, a regular season game to make it into the Super Bowl, I guess 2 years ago. And I jumped up and came down and landed on my ankle and twisted it, but that's about the worst. So knock on wood, nothing too serious. But you guys had some serious stories, so I'm glad, especially you, Carrie, were just recently glad you're okay. Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel.
Yeah, that was definitely a close one. Like I said, the best part is that Ken's under the deck, so he can't see me. So had I gone head first in the garden, and knocked myself out, he still would have been yelling, "Are you bringing that hose? Hey, did you hear me? I need the hose." Oh my goodness. Oh, I have a feeling Miss Sarah probably has an interesting story. I just feel it. I feel like, I don't know. How about you, Sarah? Did you ever just have one of those moments? KD3OUK.
Yeah, I actually do. So this was, I think, 2 years ago, like in June. Yeah, 2 years ago. So yeah, we were on a four-wheeler ride and around the farm, and we came up around the barn and got off, and there was a cat running around, like a stray cat. And Shelby is like telling me, don't try to catch the cat. Don't, it's a stray. We don't know it. Like, don't go after it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to. And for some reason, we ended up going inside the barn. I don't even know why.
You went inside.
I went in the barn and tried to pick up the cat by the tail, which, looking back, why in the world would I do that? I don't know. And needless to say, I had the cat by the tail, nothing else, and it reared up and grabbed my arm with all of its legs and arms and everything, scratched me, bit me, all that stuff. He thought I was going to get rabies, so ended up having to take me into the emergency room and get, the tetanus shots and whatever, all you need to get. And yeah, it wasn't pretty. And at least one of them had to go in my butt, so that was not fun. And he didn't even want to go into the emergency room with me. I made him because I said, well, I would go in with you, so you're going in with me. He just wanted to sit in the car. Yeah, looking back, I have no idea why I did that. Yeah, KB3 AUK.
I know, it's the craziest thing sometimes. It's just a reaction. And he didn't want to go into the emergency room with you. See, now, I don't let, unless it's like truly an emergency and I need Ken to be there, I don't let him go into the emergency room with me. You want to know why? Because he gets bored. While you're sitting there, they're running tests or they're doing whatever they have to do, he gets bored. And when he gets bored, he touches everything. He touches the air hoses, he touches the lights, he looks in the cabinets, he's like, oh, what does this thing do? You know, and he's in here and he's looking, he's pulling out stuff and doing it. And the whole time, like, I mean, obviously I'm in the emergency room, there's something going on, I don't feel well or whatever. Like, the last thing I want to do is babysit him while he's in there touching everything. And so I generally ask him not to come with me to the emergency room, because sometimes it could be more of a headache than it's worth, because he just gets so, you know, he just gets bored if there's nothing to do. And he just, I guess his just innate sense of curiosity and wanting to know how things work, you know. Next thing I know, I hear like some kind of drill or something going or whatever, and he's behind me or whatever. He's like turning other stuff on, or he's, you know, looking at the heart monitor, like, you know, it's an oscilloscope, really. And he's like, oh, gee, I wonder what. I'm like, stop touching stuff. So anyway, that's usually what happens if I have to go to the emergency room or one of the kids do. We usually leave Ken at home just because it's safer. How about you, Miss Priscilla? Did you ever have a reaction like that where you almost hurt yourself or you got hurt? K1GTX, KC2UFU.
As a matter of fact, Carrie, I did have a bad incident once. I thought it would be a really great idea if I decorated my apartment and put up some fresh new curtains, hanging them myself by standing on the window ledge in the indoors. Now, granted, they were deep window ledges, but still, it wasn't the best idea for me. I stood up on them and I was hanging things with both hands, and suddenly realized that I was headed down. So I did fall backwards, and I didn't hit my head or anything, but I think I might have lost consciousness for a little while, because I went to bed and took a little nap and got up. Felt fine, and then a week later I suffered a stroke as a result of having damaged my carotid artery and a bunch of other things. But, yeah, that was not my best shining moment there. I also have had incidents where I've been decorating the Christmas tree and decided, you know, to lean around the tree off of a chair and try to hang the lights myself, and gotten some pretty bad glares from an ex-husband of mine who didn't believe this was the best way things should be done. He was probably right, but I managed to do them anyway. So I've had some good and bad experiences with balance. Anyway, back to you.
Oh, very good, Priscilla. I generally try not to go on ladders or stand on chairs. I mean, sometimes I have to because I'm short and I can't reach things. But me and balance are not friends. The only time I have good balance, which this really does not make any sense, the only time I have good balance is when I'm out on my boat, which really should be the other way around. But once I get out on my boat and, it takes me a little bit, I get my, what they call your sea legs or whatever, I can fish off a boat while it's moving, while we're trolling, while there's, waves rolling in and everything else, and I'm perfectly fine. But if you put me on dry land, I trip over myself, or if I try to climb something, I really, what do you say, hon? I'm just not graceful, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just not graceful. I think sometimes he walks behind me when we're places just to make sure I don't fall down. He says no chewing gum and walking for me. It's just not my thing. One thing at a time. And I'm mad, or if I'm distracted, you're thinking and I've walked into things. It's just, but today was definitely one of those where, like, what was I thinking? It was just a reaction. So, well, I'm glad everybody's okay from their injuries or, almost injuries. But it is kind of crazy when stuff like that happens. you had said, Jennifer, about catching on fire and Phil having to put you out. Yeah, like, oh, hey, I'm on fire. You know, that sounds like something Ken would say, or actually he probably wouldn't even tell me. He's actually come into the house one time, and he tries to not let me know that he got hurt because he knows I'm going to say something, so he would rather just, try and hide it, and, because whatever. I might make him take ibuprofen or something. He hates taking medicine. Anyway, he came in one day, and he didn't say anything. He's just walking through the kitchen or whatever, and I look up at him, and I knew something was wrong, but it didn't register right away. And then all of a sudden, like, I just noticed it. He was missing an eyebrow. He was completely missing one eyebrow. And I'm like, what? Where is your eyebrow? And he's like, oh, well, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. I'm like, really? It's an eyebrow? And it turns out that he was out in the driveway welding something, and it was hot out, and he was sweating, and he had his torch, and his glasses started sliding off his face. And again, one of those reactions where you're just not thinking. He had a torch in his hand, and he pushed his glasses up and burned his eyebrow off. Yeah, that's my husband. I love him. KC2UFU. What do you think about that, Jennifer?
W2 Michelle, that's a great story. We're dying here because we're like, wait, what? We can actually visualize that happening. It's like, how do you think that was going to happen? But it made me think about a friend of, a friend of Philip's parents who, he would always be with the, they lived in a very rural area, these people, and he would always have a saw. He did a lot of work in the woods and stuff, and he was always like cutting off the tips of his fingers, and every day he'd come home. Remember that guy? He's like, what? It's like, I cut off another tip of my finger. It was like, and I remember, like, we were first married, I was like, okay, who are these friends of yours? But that's a great story, Carrie. W2VHL, great story. Back to you.
What do you think about it, Karen?
Are we talking about your husband burning one eyebrow off? Back to you.
Yeah. Has Dave ever tried to like hide something when he like hurt himself or whatever? I mean, how do you think, like, would you notice if Dave burned his eyebrow off?
So that is just super funny. So I was over here cracking up at your story. I'm sorry. Yes, so Dave tries to hide stuff from me all the time, his injuries, because he mountain bikes, and he knows I worry about him, because all the guys he rides with, he's typically the oldest one by a decade or so, and he can hang with them, and I get that, but I worry, because some of them are young and crazy, and he's not quite as crazy, but anyway, so, he tried to hide, I think it was last September. Basically, he bruised his spleen. He flew off of his bike and face planted into a... And tried not to tell me, but he finally had to go to the doctors. And then actually just a couple of weeks ago, he came back from a mountain biking, it wasn't even, just a day trip, and I could tell he was limping, and he really is pretty good about hiding pain, but, and he said he, flew off the handlebars, and he hit his leg and his ribs, but no big deal. Well, it turns out he has broken ribs, so, I think he just tries to shield me so that I won't yell at him. But but I'm sorry, burning the eyebrow off. I mean, that's a classic, and I'd have to have pictures and save it forever. So that was. I'm glad he is fine, but that was a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing. Over.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm sure he's not happy I shared. Actually, he doesn't care. He knows he does stuff. That just he is so bad at about hiding things from hurting himself. I actually had one of my kids who I think he was probably maybe like 14 or 15 at the time, called me at work and said, "Mom," real serious, and I'm like, "What's going on, Jake?" He goes, I just want to let you know, I think everything's okay, but Kenny was walking outside, and he had his sandwich and his glass of milk, and he was walking towards the garage, and he tripped over the handle of the floor jack. He goes, and his sandwich went flying, and his milk went flying. He goes, and he came down really bad on his knee. He goes, and now he's in the living room, and he's just sitting on the couch, and he's not saying anything. He goes, "I know he won't tell you, Mom, so I just wanted to let you know, because he's probably really hurt." This is what I deal with. So, it's just how they are. I don't know. What'd you think of that, Sarah? And has Shelby ever done anything like? I'm sure he has. I'm sure they all hide it. I don't know why. I really don't. KB3OUK.
Yeah, Carrie. So Shelby's sitting here listening, and your stories are priceless. I'm just loving them. But no, he hurts himself at times, but he never tries to hide it, mostly because I'm almost always there, unless he hurts himself at work. But if he's home, I'm almost always right there, and I can hear the screaming, hollering, cursing, and sometimes, he ends up throwing, if he's, outside working on the car, I've seen him, get mad, and he's, hitting his car with a snow shovel.
That's another whole other story.
But he never really hides anything. Now, there are times where he works on appliances for work, so whenever he comes home, there's times where, he's, cut up, sometimes he doesn't even realize he's bleeding. He'll come in from working on the car or something, and I'm like, "Oh, you're bleeding? Oh, I didn't even know that." And here, lately, he's been getting into poison with working on my sheep fence. So that's a lot of fun, especially when he wakes up at 3 in the morning itching, and, itching, and I'm like, "Just go put some cream on your poison. I know you're itching, but just go do something about it." But no, he hasn't, and he's never really seriously hurt himself, thankfully. So yeah, we're pretty lucky on that end. But yeah, and he did kind of hurt last weekend. He was working on my sheep fence, kind of hurt his knee a little bit, and he was limping around like an old man for a couple of days. Besides that, we're pretty lucky on our end. KB3OUK.
Oh, I just hear the sympathy in your voice, Sarah. Limping around like an old man. There is a rule of thumb in my house, and it has to be this way, because Ken has made me this way after 18 years of marriage, that I just know him this well, that I have this rule. If Ken comes home or comes inside and he has tape on his finger, or, over something or whatever. Usually it's his finger. If he has tape on his finger. If it's the blue painter's tape, it's probably just a minor cut, but he couldn't get it to stop bleeding or whatever, so it was annoying him, so he just put a little bit of blue painter's tape around it or whatever. If there's duct tape around his finger, well, then, you know what, it's probably a little more serious. It probably really needs to be, cleaned out well, might need a stitch or something like that. But it'll probably heal on his own. However, if Ken ever comes and he has his finger wrapped in electrical tape, if it's electrical tape, I immediately make him take it off, because I know he's cut to the bone and that his finger is probably ready to fall off. Because the only time he will ever waste his electrical tape is if his finger is he actually might be concerned that it may fall off, but he still doesn't want to stop doing what he's doing. So that's the rule of thumb in my house. If it's painter's tape, duct tape, or electrical tape, that's how we roll here. I don't know. It's just the craziness. How about you, Miss Priscilla? Has Wes ever done that? Has he ever hurt himself and not told you, or had a situation like that? KC2UFU.
Well, he discovers things and he doesn't quite own up to them until a little bit later. Like he discovered a lump on his chest. He said, one night he said to me, feel this. And I'm thinking, what is this going to be? And I reach over and I feel it's a lump on his chest. I'm like, well, shouldn't we have that looked at? It's probably nothing. But usually if something's pretty bad, I can hear a lot of cursing ahead of time. And that's how I know it's probably best if I stay away because I don't want to pass out or anything. So I use that as a guideline. But I do have an eyebrow story for you. Pertains to me, however. I was living in a little studio apartment in Somerville, and I had a little Jordan Marsh stove, which is, is probably, if you can remember, it's one of those department stores that closed down after a while. And it was a gas stove, and I couldn't get I knew it needed to have the main burner needed to be lit, underneath the stove, and the pilot was out, so I knew I had to light the pilot. So I leaned forward, and I'm lying on the floor, and I've got this large, one of those match thingies, and I'm lighting the pilot, and poof! I smell a smell that smells like a hairdryer. And I back up, and I realize that I've singed my eyebrows. I'm supposed to be in a wedding the next weekend, so I had to call my friend and tell her, I just did a little thing where I singed my eyebrows. No biggie. I can pencil them in, but I'm going to look a little funny.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank goodness it wasn't any worse than that. I've had some experiences. I do not like lighting the pilot light on anything. The gas heater or fire really freaks me out. Even my campfire outside, I have like the stone fireplace out there or whatever. Even that, like sometimes they'll pour gas or something on it to get it lit real quick. I will never do that. I will always do it the hard way and let it happen. You know what I mean? It might take longer for the fire to start up or whatever, but I don't like putting any additives in it because that really freaks me out. Oh my gosh, what a great story. It really is. I'm having a great time. Let's see if anyone else wants to check in to Ladies Night 4.0. This is KC2UFU.
KB3WFV.
Hey, Lisa!
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. Better late than never. Always glad to hear you. It's so fortunate that you did come on. Cause I don't know, did you happen to hear what we were just talking about?
Not a little bit.
Well, we were discussing about ourselves or our husbands or whatever, like doing something where you hurt yourself. And, like in my case, I almost took a header today or whatever. It was just because I reacted and didn't think about what I was doing, and I almost took a header into the garden today. Thankfully, I didn't. But it got me thinking about why we do stuff like that. So then, our husbands got involved here as far as things they do, and I was saying how Ken likes to hide if he gets hurt. He doesn't like to tell me. He likes to pretend like he didn't get hurt, and he will do whatever he can for me not to find out. So I was curious, did you ever have either of those situations where you did something and you almost really hurt yourself bad, or Brian was hiding something? KC2UFU.
Oh gosh, no, I don't think so. Shoot, him, I don't think he hides anything. I know sometimes if I hurt myself, I'll hide it. I know when I was young, I got in a car accident as a teenager, and with a boyfriend, and I didn't tell my parents, and till this day, the elbow still sometimes gives me a fit. I guess it's probably got arthritis in it now, whatever, but never did tell them. I probably should have went to the hospital and did something about the elbow, because it really banged it up really good, but no, I don't know if anything that Brian would have hid, or, well, if he did, I don't know. There you go. But I'm the one that probably hides things more than he does. If I'm sick, I don't usually tell him. I try to work it out myself because he doesn't need aggravation. But other than that, I really can't think off the whim like right now.
Oh, so the shoe's on the other foot. You're one of those ones. Yeah, I will suck it up too. I mean, usually, you know, I mean, I won't go out of my way if I do something dumb or whatever. You know, we all have that kind of vibe, I guess. You know what I mean? Or you know, we just deal with it because you know what, the day's got to go on. I was just curious if you ever came across that situation. Is there anyone else that would like to check in for Ladies Night 4.0? KC2UFU. Okay. Well, now that we've had a good laugh at our other half's expenses and at our own for a certain point, I was going to ask you ladies, I had a situation this week where I got like super stressed out at work. And normally, like if I'm home and I'm getting stressed out or whatever, you know, I'll give myself a timeout, or sometimes I'll do yoga, or I'll meditate, or even if I need to get my mind off it, I'll go and read a book or something just to try and get myself, you know, back in order so I can deal with the world. But I got really stressed out at work this week, and like a couple things happened all at once, and they were all like top priority type situations, and I literally found myself frozen, like where I couldn't think, you know, which do I do first? They're all really important, and I wish I had like some kind of mechanism that I could have like done, something I could have done to like unfreeze myself, because I was like completely ineffective for like 20 minutes. Like I couldn't even think of what I needed to do, and I wish that I could have found a way to kind of regroup myself. What's that? If it's Ken says if it's not on fire, it's not a problem. Things were on. Well, they were not literally on fire, but it was a fire in a work situation. You know, where it was. Anyway. So I was wondering if you guys had any suggestions, if maybe you know of anything that you might do that when you're in a situation like that where you're super stressed out, and maybe you have some tips or tricks for me. I'm hoping. Over to you, Miss Jennifer, PHL Light at the W2 PHL household. This is KC2UFU.
Hey, Carrie. Well, yeah, I can relate. This was quite the week. So a few summers ago, not last summer, the summer before, I went to the Breathe or Change program, which is a program for educators where you actually you get your yoga educator certificate, but they also teach you meditation and everything like that. I'm not saying that I keep up, because I know that I should do it and I don't, but I remember just after the program, it was you can go during the weekends during the year or during the summer. It was 16 days during the summer. It's very intense, but I just came out a different person. They say it's life-changing, and you're like, yeah, right, everything's life-changing, but it really was. And just that daily meditation can just, you know, even if you're doing 2 minutes, just concentrate on your breathing. You don't have to do the meditation you see on TV. It really does change your life, just thinking about the things, even if you think about the things you're grateful for. And the problem is I don't keep up with it either, because I get up into like, I have to get this done, but when I get into those situations where I just feel so overwhelmed, you know, yesterday I was just, you know, so overwhelmed and just so emotional, I just try to remember to reframe, you know, and think about, you know, my thoughts are not always what I think they are. So, you know, I just try to remember those things that they taught me, to just breathe, take a moment, concentrate on your breathing, and remember, just because I think they are this way, there's so many other ways to look at them and to be positive. It's not easy. You know, I'm great to preach, but I'm not so great at always doing it myself. WPHL, back to you, Carrie.
Oh, very good, Jennifer. Yeah, I have, with yoga, I have learned some meditation, not as much as I should have. I do enjoy it, but I find with meditation that, like, I have to be in my, in my space to do it. Like, I have to learn to meditate outside of my meditation space, I guess, which is usually my bedroom because it's the quietest place in the house. So I need a lot of quiet. I guess I have to learn some more focus. But that's definitely not a bad idea, even if I give myself a time out somewhere. Like, I timed out for like 10 minutes, and I was shoveling my lunch down my throat as I'm trying to work through these problems, and, more things were arising, and it was just one of those situations where you couldn't pawn it off on anybody else. I had to make the decisions and figure out, what we had to do in what order. And I actually found myself for the first time, I'm usually a fairly organized person, at least when it comes to work anyway, and that there's not too many things that I can't, work out. But this, it really freaked me out a little bit. Like, I kind of, like, mentally froze up. And it was like I didn't know which way to turn. So that's not a bad idea. I should go back to doing more meditation. And like I said, it is very helpful. It's just if you don't keep at it, you don't get good at it. So that is definitely not a bad idea. Do you have any suggestions, Karen? I'm definitely looking for him. W30HKC2UFU.
Hey, Carrie. Well, and everyone. Well, I can certainly empathize with you. I've definitely had some rough days and rough weeks during this telework time during COVID. I work for the federal government, and I telework 2 days a week, but now it's full time, and I absolutely love it. But what's been difficult is now that everyone is 100% telework. Everyone's in meetings all day long, but while they're in meetings, they're shooting off emails. So it's like the workload actually picked up, and it's been crazy. But when I have bad days like that, because I do have bad days like that, and I'm a very, like you, I try to be, anyway, very organized. I try to stay very positive at work. My family might not see me the same way. But, I was told never let them see you sweat. But when I have a really bad day like that, or just a bad situation, I literally tell myself, it is just a job. And all you can do is your best. So if you're doing your best, that's all you can do, and it has to be acceptable. And you being such a good person that I'm sure you are, it will work out. And this too shall pass. Like, that's another phrase that a friend of mine uses that I've started to use. This too shall pass. And for me, it's just a matter of reminding myself. It's easy to say, but if you just keep saying it, it's just a job. This too shall pass. Eventually it will, and you just know you're doing the best you can, and that's all you can do. All you can do is your best. You are one person, and if people can't see that you're doing your best, then that's on them and not on you. So, stress-wise, I don't do the yoga thing. Stress-wise, for me, it's running. And playing music really, really loud, either when I run, which isn't the safest, or when I'm driving, which isn't really much now with all that's going on. But just know that you are a good person and you're doing your best, and work is not worth having a heart attack over. And I've seen it happen, and just try to be stress-free. That's the best advice I can offer. Over.
Very good, Karen. And you're right. I do have to remind myself that. Because of my, it's not, and it's really not anyone else reflecting on me, like thinking, oh man, she's losing her mind. Or maybe they do think I'm losing my mind. But nobody's actually said anything to me. I'm my own worst enemy. I think a lot of us can be that way, that we could be our own worst enemy, where we hold ourselves up to a certain standard, and are used to getting it done no matter what it takes or what it takes out of us. But you're right. At the end of the day, it is just a job. And, you know, Ken has said that to me a lot of times. I'm really glad that he listens to Wawa, and maybe he's still listening on his phone now. Because he said it to me a bunch of times. It's just a job. Like, don't make yourself, like, that crazy over it. So I guess it's probably something I have to work on personally, too. Like you're saying, it's just to remind yourself that, you know, that you have bigger fish to fry in life other than, you know, letting your job get the best of you. So I really do appreciate those words of encouragement. I will have to remind myself that. How about you, Miss Sarah? You got any words of wisdom for me, KC2UFU?
I just really agree with what Karen said. She said it really well, and I get that. It's at the end of the day, it's just a job, and frankly, it's not worth, you know, all the stress and everything. Yeah, I'm not working right now, but the job I was at for 4 years, I was there for a good, you know, for 4 years, and after my dad died, they gave me a week off, and then my boss said, well, I'd really think, you know, you don't have to come back after a week, but it would probably be good to get you back into your schedule and everything, and I did, and then they ended up basically letting me go. They made it really hard for me to stay, and I just realized that, you know, I loved, like, I was in a, like a personal care home, working basically as CNA, and I loved the people that I worked with and everything, but I just got to the point that I just couldn't do it anymore because of the way they were treating me, and it just came down to, you know, I had to do what was best for me, and I just had to leave. So, you know, they got to a point where they were telling me a lot of crazy things. You know, they knew how my dad took his life, and they said, well, they thought that I needed help and I needed counseling, and they actually told me that they thought I was gonna, you know, do what my dad did, and they thought that I was, you know, unstable mentally and all this stuff, and it just got to a point where I said, okay, I'm done, and I just walked out. But it just, when you have experiences like that, it just makes you realize that, you know, work shouldn't be something that stresses you out that much. It shouldn't be, they just shouldn't treat you like crap. And so, you know, just try to keep a positive look, and at the end of the day, you just do the best you can. KB3 OUK.
Yeah, I hear you. Especially when you work for, I hate that when you work with people that you really like within, like you're in a corporate setting or it's the company itself that is, that stinks, you know, but you like the people that you work with. And, I mean, how dare they be, you know, judgmental and tell you how you feel or what they feel you're going to do. Like, they're not you. I would, boy, yeah, I would have had some choice words for them, that's for sure. That infuriates me, just hearing that, and that they, you know, how dare they even, you know, say something like that to you. Makes me want to go beat them up. Then getting all motherly. But I'm glad you still kept your head up high and you did the right thing and got out of that job, because obviously that was not anybody that you wanted to work for, that's for sure. And you knew your own worth. So I know that they value me at my job, and I'm fortunate to work for a family-owned company, so we don't have to deal with a lot of the corporate crap that can go on around. It can be really tough sometimes. But it's still, when you have people working under you and you have people that depend on you, you know, to have answers and you're like locked up and you're like, I don't know. It's like the whole structure just starts to crumble around you, and you just watch it, like, you know, you watch it crumble around and you're like, I really need to get my stuff together. So, hopefully I can implement a couple of these things here and not let that happen again, because that actually was pretty scary. It's, I have to say, probably the first time in my life that I've actually locked up like that and not been able to think. So, it was like, I need to get a grip on this. Definitely. How about you, Miss Priscilla? Do you have any words of wisdom? Casey, to you, up to you.
I do. Actually, I am someone who gets easily overwhelmed in my flavors. And I am feeling overwhelmed, so one thing I can do is step away and try to clear my head and just get away from it for a couple minutes. Then I try to triage, like make a sense, list of priorities. And then if that doesn't work, I just try to go for the one thing that will give me the biggest sense of victory and accomplishment. The one thing I can do the quickest, that I can build up my confidence, I can tackle the other things afterwards, if they're all of equal consequence. So that's what I try to do. And like everybody's saying, it's, people are not out there trying to cure a rare disease or rocket science, usually. And so that's one of the things that I try to remind myself, this is something I can figure out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's at that overwhelming point. You're right. You do have to take a step back, because in the moment, and it's probably what I should have done instead. I was just trying to think it through while I'm, trying to eat, and I'm still in the workplace, so it didn't really remove me from the situation. So I don't think my anxiety level went down at any point. You're right. That's exactly what happened. Is I think I didn't have a nervous breakdown, but I just got overwhelmed with the situation and just didn't know what to do with it. So I think I'll try to be more positive and give myself a time out and remind myself that it's just not worth the headache if it's going to be that bad. How about you, Miss Lisa? You got any words of wisdom? Casey, to you, F.U.
I think everybody kind of about covered it. Again, I would step back and, kind of give yourself a breather a little bit and kind of regroup. Sometimes we all get in that situation. We just have to, instead of a quick answer, you got to say, you got to give me a few minutes. I'll be right back or whatever. But, yeah. And stress reliever, I'm like Karen. I like the loud music. But I like a cold beer also. So that helps me.
Yeah, it's not like that's the problem with the whole work situation. It's like, at home, sometimes I can cure myself with, a chocolate cupcake and a glass of wine. Sometimes that's my go-to. But I think they would probably frown upon, well, I know they would frown upon that if I was, having a glass of wine while at work. I don't think that would work out. But I appreciate each and every one of your commentary on that, and I'm definitely going to have to work on that, because I did not like that feeling of being that overwhelmed and not being able to think properly. So that's some really good stuff. That I appreciate all your input, every one of you, because that gave me some really good ideas on how to tackle it, when I go back Monday and want to pull my hair out. So, I don't know. What else do you ladies want to talk about? I know usually I'm kind of throwing things out there or whatever, but I think I've covered what I've been thinking about this week anyway, and things that I've been going through. How about you, Miss Jennifer? Do you have anything? Wait, actually, let me see if there's any check-ins, because I'm bad at that. This is Ladies' Night 4.0. Casey, to you, F.U. Does anybody else want to check in? Okay, we're good. So let me just put this over to you, Miss Jennifer. Not to put you on the hot spot, but I'm putting you on the hot spot. You have anything you want to say to the girls or whatever? Just put something out there. It's Casey, to you, F.U.
Hey, Carrie. Yeah, I was just thinking, what Lisa said, give yourself a break, because I was thinking that as people were talking, and one of the things I always tell people is like, nobody's okay. How can anyone be okay? Because, this is just such an unusual situation. We're all we're in our houses. We can't go out. We can't see our families. We're friends. It's such an unusual situation that, everyone's just not okay. I mean, we're just as okay as we can be. And then I was kind of thinking, what does everyone miss the most about, being kind of quarantined? What do you miss the most? I was trying to think today. We went to, I took my husband for Father's Day, one of the places near us, not the county we're in, because we're in New York City, but outside of New York City is in phase 2. And so, there's, 6 tables, many feet apart outside, and we were able to dine outside. It was rather hot, but we were able to dine outside. And, that's something, my husband and I used to go to museums on Saturday, or we'd go to the zoo and have lunch together. And I miss doing that. I miss, that was like our little outing, our get-together. That's when, when you're at home, it's hard to kind of be away from work, because that's where I'm working. So that's something, even when I went to work, it was just a place where I didn't have to think about anything. And I really miss doing that with him. So I'm just wondering, what does everyone miss the most about the being quarantined?
That's a very good question, Jennifer. I know, speaking for myself, I haven't seen my family a lot. I go and I check on my mom and stuff like that or whatever, but like my dad, I really haven't seen him that much, because he takes care of my 93-year-old grandfather, him and his wife, and they have to be like really, really super careful. He's 93 years old, and he has, heart condition on top of that. So they've been like pretty much off the grid. And, I talk to them on the phone. They don't live that far away. Like, I pass the house all the time. But I know better. Like, sometimes we'll just stand outside or whatever and just, shoot the breeze a little bit. But me and my dad are very close, so we usually spend a lot of time together. We'll go, sometimes we go drag racing together, or, we'll go out to eat and stuff like that. So, not being around him a lot, and I totally get why, but that bothers me. And also my niece, she's severely immunocompromised, so I only really talk to her on the phone. She will not come out and see anybody, and I don't blame her again. So I think it's family, and just not being able to just get up and go and do something, like you said, go to a museum or go to the movies, or just to do something different. I am thankful that we have our boat, which Ken's been working on it diligently to get it back in the water. It's a boat, so one thing after another with it. But it should be in this weekend, and then if I do get any free time, that's where I'll be out in the water, because nobody can bother me out there, and I don't have to worry about anything. So my answer would be, just getting together with family. That's what I really like the most. How about you, Karen? W3OH KC2UFU.
Yeah, I can definitely relate with both of you. Definitely at first miss the family, miss seeing my mom. She's about an hour away, and my brother. But since things have lifted slightly, I've been able to see both of them. So that's been good. It's not a regular thing, but it wasn't either before because of the distance. So aside from that, and the worry, because the more I see her, she's in her 70s, so I kind of want to stay there. But from a regular weekend perspective, I definitely miss the restaurants being open. So whether it's Dave and I going out on for a restaurant date, or friends, like we had Fridays are typically girl nights with friends, and we would just get appetizers and a few drinks. So I definitely miss that. I think the restaurant thing is probably the hardest for me because that apparently I'd never thought about it before, but that must have been where we just did a lot of socializing, whether it was with friends or just Dave and I getting out for a night, or even with our kids who didn't always want to go with us. But, being able to drive up to Annapolis and walk around and, pick a restaurant to eat at, that I definitely miss the most. So, in Maryland, where we are here, we're in phase 2, and things have picked up a little. So, outdoor seating is available. Indoor seating, I think it's supposed to be, 50%. So I actually went to Applebee's for the first time with a friend of mine yesterday. Lunch, it was 1 o'clock, lunchtime, not many people in there. We had to wear masks to and from our tables. And it was just, I don't know. It was good. The waitresses were great. They wore masks. They didn't touch our cups at all. They always had little plastic things on. But I think the restaurants are doing a good job to try to adjust to everything. Menus are disposable paper menus. But I think that's the part that I miss the most from a regular standpoint. Obviously the family, and the biggest thing for me is the big 2 kids graduating this year. I think for the last year in my head I've been planning this super big graduation party for the 2 boys, and just not being able to do that has been a shame. But I try to stay positive. Everyone's healthy, and that's all that matters. But anyway, so yeah. So thank you. Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel. No whiskers in this call sign. That's right. No whiskers. Oh, that was funny. I think, speaking from Ken's perspective, I think he misses not knowing what day of the week it is, because he's been having a really hard time with that, with everything being like this, and I had to tell him 4 times today that it was Saturday, because he was saying, oh, when's Brandon leaving for work? I said, he's not, it's Saturday. He's like, oh, can we run over to the township today or whatever and drop that paper? I'm like, no, it's Saturday. And I mentioned that it was odd that the garbage trucks were out today, which they were, I guess, because of all the recent thunderstorms we had and all the trees down. There was just so much brush. I guess they had to work on a Saturday. They're probably short-staffed as well. So they were working on Saturday. I go, that's odd that they're working today. And he's like, why is that? I'm like, because it's Saturday. And there was one other incident. So it does things start to blur. And if you're working from home, it blurs even more. Now that I'm getting sort of back into the work setting, I'm also working from home, but it's getting a little bit better. But yeah, that would definitely be on the list as well. How about you, Miss Sarah? KB3OUK from KC2UFU.
Yeah, so we're really missing, being able to go out and do stuff. Today I was kind of itching to get out of the house. We had to go to the grocery store, but I wanted to do, a meal out. So I asked him if we could go. There's this one Mennonite restaurant we really like. I said, hey, do you want to go there? He goes, oh, I don't know. He was kind of hem-hawing around, and I was like, okay, because they have outdoor seating, or you can sit inside, but he thought, well, you'll probably have to wait a long time and all this, and I said, okay, fine, because it's usually a pretty busy place. They have really good food, and, everybody goes there, and so I said, okay, and there's another place we go to at times, and, they have outdoor seating, and it's closer, and I said, well, do you want to go there? He goes, well, we could do that. So I convinced him to take me out for lunch, and that's the first that we've actually gone out to eat since all this started, I think. there have been a couple times we've run and got a pizza and brought home, and that's been good too. But it's just been being home with a baby all the time, and it gets hard. I just feel alone a lot. And then last Sunday was the first Sunday that our church opened up again. It was kind of weird though. We went, I missed seeing everybody, so I said I want to go. And they took all the hymnals out of the pews, printed all the hymns into the bulletin, and they're not requiring masks, but they want you to wear them. Well, it was like 50-50, half did and half didn't. And that was, and you're not allowed to hug people. And I'm a huggy person, like I love to hug people. In church is like my hugging place. So it was really, it's kind of depressing to go to church, like you can't hug anybody, and then they're wearing gloves. And I just personally, I don't see the whole glove thing. Like if you have hand sanitizer there, you don't need gloves. It's so wild. I just wish things get back to normal, and just wish we could, do things normally, get out, live our lives. My daughter's almost 5 months old, and we've hardly done anything with her, outside of the house. It's just kind of depressing. So just waiting for things to get back to normal and, be able to go out and do stuff with our baby. KB3 UK.
Yeah, 5 months already. I remember when she was 3 months. See, she's growing up with us now. Yeah, I mean, we're social creatures by nature, most of us. We need social interaction at some point, so we're all kind of starving for that. I miss my church as well. My church it's an old schoolhouse that was built in the 1800s, and I have to say, if you could fit, you would literally have to squeeze to get maybe 25, 30 people in there. That's how tiny it is. It's a one-room, just tiny, tiny little church. And, we haven't been able to meet, obviously, because everything going on, and they haven't actually opened it up where you can, congregate again in churches. I really don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it. I'm hoping maybe they'll do something outside, because that would be nice before it gets, it's already getting hot, And the restaurant's opening up now for outdoor seating just in time for us all to sit there and sweat, is not exactly the best answer, but what are we going to do? But I do miss church too. I do talk to my pastor all the time. He calls and checks on us once a week to see what's going on with everybody, but I miss that as well. How about you, Miss Priscilla? K1 GTX, KC2UFU.
First of all, Carrie, thank you so much for running this net. I really enjoy it. Even though I am an introvert by nature, I'm also a writer. I spend a lot of time writing, and I miss kind of being able to go out to Barnes & Noble and just kind of hang out in the Starbucks they have there. It seems like scenery a little bit when I'm writing and get work done. So that's much I miss, and I was able to go there. Fuck! I just go and get books. That felt good. I missed hugging friends, seeing friends, hugging them. That's pretty much it for me. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Fuck! Now, well, we love having you here, Priscilla, and we're breaking you out of that shell. One ladies' night at a time. Before you know it, it'll be Priscilla's Gone Wild. Hopefully. But yeah, I do some writing too, and I do find a lot of inspiration. Going to other places. Sometimes I write at home or whatever when the mood strikes me. But sometimes I like to people watch. That's something that I do. I don't know if anybody else does that, but it is actually pretty interesting. If you go to just a random place and you people watch, you see some interesting things sometimes, like things that you wouldn't normally, if you weren't going to actually, just observe people and what they're doing. It'd actually be pretty interesting sometimes. But we're always glad you're here, Priscilla, and I'm saying that, and I know the rest of the ladies, we really enjoy your company here, and I hope we're breaking you out of that shell there. Over to you, Miss Lisa, the KB3WFV household. How are you? What are you missing the most? Or are you just toughing it out, KC2UFU?
Oh, I think what I miss the most is just when you want to go out. It's like now you can't. You go. This or that. Oh, their hours have changed. And then the mask thing. This is getting aggravating. But I think that's what I miss is going to go get something or going somewhere when you want. Where you want. Now you can't. It's always, well, are they open or stuff like that. So that's what's getting on my nerves and aggravating. And sometimes I just wish it gets back to normal. Other than that, I'm taking everything else in stride.
Well, that's all we can do. Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but as far as masks are concerned, I've tried like 3 or 4 different kinds of masks. And to me, a mask is like putting a bra on. It just you don't really want to have to wear it, but you have to wear it because you're going out in public. And I know as soon as I get into the car or get to the space where I don't have to have that mask on anymore, I rip that thing off, and it's just like, oh, freedom. I can't stand those things. They drive me crazy. How about you, Jennifer? They make you nuts?
W2PHL, yes, they do. I actually feel like I'm suffocating. It's been a big issue because we've had to go into, we had a pop-up pantry at work, and then my boss was like, oh, we'll go upstairs, we'll do the work. And then she took off her mask, but then we were sitting there with a mask and we're dying. And our oldest child had, when she was very young, had sensory issues, and I don't know what we would have done, because there's no way she would have been able to wear a mask, around or to school. No, for me, when I have to go out or go to the store, I'm just like, oh no. It's just, for me, it's just like the worst thing. I know some people can sit there with them. I just don't know how they can do it, but W2PHL, back to you, Carrie.
Yeah, I just can't take them. Let's just check real quick, see if anybody else has any late check-ins to the Ladies Night 4.0. This is KC2UFU. Okay. Good. Miss Karen, do you have anything you want to put out to the group there? Any questions? Anything you want to throw out there?
Oh, now I feel like I'm put on the spot. Let's see, I was going to say regarding the masks. Oh my gosh, yeah, they're just so hard to wear. They're hard to keep on for a long time. Going to the grocery store and then you finish up and you're sweating and then you come out. Now that it's hot, you're sweating even more. I was going to throw something out to the group, but I can't remember what it was. See, I'm looking at my glass wine. I'm not talking into the mic so no one can hear me. I don't know. I think what I want to throw out is that I think this, Carrie, I think you called this Ladies Night 4.0, so I'm wondering if that means it's our 4th Ladies Night. I'm not sure. But I really enjoy this, and I feel like I'm getting to know some of you, and I just love that we share experiences and, good things and bad and funny as well. So I just really do appreciate this. So I think that's what I'll throw out at this point. Thank you. Whiskey 3, Oscar Hotel. Whisker.
You'll be forever known as Whisker. Are you taking notes, Karen?
Yes, ma'am. So I do kind of take notes, but just so that I get people's names straight, because When I do start, I'm just not good with names. And names and voices. Although I have started, Carrie, obviously I know yours, and I believe I'm used to Lisa's, and then I know everyone else's names, but I'm trying to get used to voices. So I do try to take notes. But that's just me. That's my OCD, organized, ADD, I don't know what you want to call it, all self-diagnosed, wine drinking, all just self-diagnosed. But yeah, I try to stay on top of things. Thank you.
Now, I was just going to compliment you on that, because that is one thing. See, you're well on your way to becoming a ham radio operator. You just don't even know it. That is like one of the main things that I do when I'm in a conversation, especially if it's roundtable like this, or even if we're just all talking. Sometimes it's breaking and, somebody's a little long-winded or whatever, and I want to remember to ask somebody something. That is like a really important thing to do, when you're on the ham radio. And believe me, I get distracted too. What's that? Oh, he says if I could read my own writing. See, even from out in the tent there, he's got his little commentary. Yeah, I do have a tendency to write all over the paper and then have to kind of track myself where I went. But, you see that, Karen? You're well on your way to becoming a ham radio operator. That's something I want to ask you, ladies. So let me get around. Let's see if Sarah has anything she wants to add to the conversation this evening. This is KC2UFU.
Yeah, I love Ladies Night. I look forward to this every time, and I get so excited. Like, Andrea, we get to go be on the radio. I actually had her started on watching Lawrence Welk, and she was giggling for the first little bit, and then she started to fuss, and she's been sitting here listening and chattering, and we just really enjoy the stories and encouragement, and it's been really, it couldn't have come in a better time for me, just being stuck at home and feeling alone a lot of the time. It's just been awesome. So, it's just another way to, I don't know, I guess it's just like a community, and I appreciate everything you do, Carrie. You do a great job, and it's just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it, and I'm having a lot of fun. KB3OUK.
Oh, very good, Sarah. I'm glad you're having fun. I know I really enjoy doing this. To answer your question, Karen, 4.0, yes, it means it's the fourth time. I don't know what I'm going to do when we get to 19 and 20. But I don't know, it just kind of started this whole 1.0, 2.0, so on and so forth. But yes, we are on our fourth round, and just in case, I know some of you ladies might not have been here last week, or maybe didn't hear, or whatever. I don't know if you all know what Ham Nation is. It's actually a national televised program, a ham radio program, and we were actually mentioned. They had a ladies' night a couple of weeks ago, and they mentioned our group. And we're telling people out there all over the place about our group, and to tune in and to get on the radio and to come check out AM and try out the mode for people who are licensed, or even if you weren't and your husband is, so on and so forth, to get out here and just come out here and talk to us. So I thought that was pretty amazing. It means we're doing a good job, and I'm very proud of that fact that everybody comes out here and has a good time and actually looks forward to doing it. I couldn't ask for a better group of people, and as we expand, I know all you ladies that have been here from the beginning are always going to be more than welcoming to others who join us, so I really do look forward to that. Over to you, Priscilla. Do you have anything you want to add to Ladies' Night this evening? It's KC2UFU.
I just really enjoy everybody's stories. The eyebrow story was so funny tonight, and it brings a lot of joy to me, and the connection that we have when we get together. God, it brings a lot of
That's great. You know, that's what we're here for, to make each other laugh and to make sure we don't all go insane. You know, kind of like how I did this week at work. I wish I could have dialed you ladies up when I was having my little mini meltdown at work. I'm like, what do I do? Because really, it's like, there's actually not a lot of females in my life. You know, my sister, she lives all the way in Key West. I mean, we talk on the phone and stuff like that, but she's like, you know, she's in Key West or whatever. And, you know, my mom's my mom. There's not like so much I could talk to her about. But like as far as girlfriends go, I don't know why. I just really don't have any. And you know, my best friend, she passed away a couple of years ago. It's been 7 years now. And I think when I that's it, like my go-to person or whatever, and I just really haven't found anybody to replace that. But I feel like with you ladies, I can just talk about anything. It's so comfortable and so natural. So I can't thank you guys enough for that. And like I said, I just went away and was like, hey, turn on your ham radio or get on your web SDR. That's going to be next. So anyway, over to you, Miss Lisa. Got any questions or comments you want to throw into the ladies' night? KC2UFU.
No, I don't think so. I think I brought up the mask thing that started all that, but I don't think anymore. Yeah, it is nice doing this. It's different for me. I feel like sometimes, though, I'm getting into Brian's hobby, which I'm fine. but oh well, I guess we get in the way sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, he's right. He talks enough, Lisa. We need you to talk more. Brian, yeah, we always hear him. Not that we don't love to hear him, but yeah, he's right. He talks enough. Oh, so again, you know, I can't thank you ladies enough, and I was invited to possibly go in the future and be on Ham Nation. They do like a tele thing, like where like a video chat, like basically like a kind of like a Zoom meeting or whatever. And I can't wait to get out there and encourage some more ladies to get out there. Have any of you thought about getting your license on your own? No pressure. But I was just wondering, as you're getting more comfortable with the equipment and getting more comfortable talking on the microphone or whatever, have you ever thought that maybe you want a call sign of your own? You don't want to be PHL Light? What do you think, Jennifer? KC2UFU.
Well, Carrie, when we first got married, I did have the book, and I started studying for the test. But then, you know, life got in the way. There were babies to be had, and there was work and all these things. So I don't know. I guess right now, like I said, I just changed positions in my job. So I even at home, I'm working 65 hours a week at least. So I don't think that's in the very near future, but maybe sometime. I don't know. I do go to the ham radio things with him, so and I like doing that with him, and maybe even go to the Nearfest with him. I promised him I'd go to the big one in New Hampshire, Vermont, is it? So definitely thinking about doing that, but it's a slow process, but we'll get there. Back to you, Carrie. W2PHL.
Very good, Jennifer. Oh, hold on, one second. Sorry, Ken had his web SDR in here, so as I was talking, I could hear myself talking, and that just made me crazy. Well, maybe it's in the works one day, Jennifer. I can understand being, you know, on the computer, you know, 65 hours a week. The last thing you want to do is study for your ham license. But I will tell you that me not coming from any kind of, like, electronics background or any kind of radio background whatsoever, that I did, you know, study online for the tests and learn the stuff. And I got through it because I just got determined that this is something I wanted to do. I was always listening to Ken talk all the time and always butting in all the time. So it just drove me to just get it over. Once it's over and done with, you got it. You just have to remember to renew it every 10 years. But, so maybe it's in the works. And so you're going to Nearfest. You're going to go to Nearfest. Well, that's interesting. Maybe I'll have to go to Nearfest, too. What do you think, ladies? We'll go to Nearfest. How about you, Miss Karen? You're writing things down. You got it all in order. Have you been thinking about it maybe a little bit? KC2U left you.
Oh, that's too funny. Now I'm embarrassed. I don't write everything down. Just some key things. I'm a list person in general. I like to write things down. I like to make lists and check boxes for myself. Sometimes I'll even do check boxes of things I just did so that I can check them off and feel accomplished. But it's funny, before you guys started talking about that, I was just saying to Dave, I was like, I think I might want to get my license, and what would that mean? And would I have my own call sign? Would I have to use yours? That's kind of challenging. And then our younger son, that's almost 19, came down, and because he was supposed to be getting his, I really want him to get his. But yeah, I think I wanna do that now, and I really do enjoy this, and I think it would be something new to look forward to, and a challenge, and a new set of people, and that's kind of exciting to me. So thanks for throwing that out there.
Yeah, there's Kevin was just mentioning to me, he's right. I don't know if you ladies are aware of this or not, but as the summer progresses, the conditions get worse here on AM. So it may get to a point where we're not able to meet. Like the conditions might not be conducive to talking on AM. So, or any radio frequency really. It gets bad in the summertime. There is something like if you ladies had your technician's licenses, which is just the basic, easiest license to get, there is something called Echolink, which you connect to it via your cell phone, and you go into a repeater, and you all meet there, and those conditions are not affected at all by anything that's going on. So, I mean, hopefully conditions stay with us, but I think as we progress into like mid-July and August, with the thunderstorms and the heat and everything else, we might miss each other for a while, which isn't okay with me, but we'll have to deal with it if that's the case. So it's always an option out there. I just want to put it out there that, if you ladies were thinking about it, the technician's license is the bare minimum, and you are allowed to go on repeater systems with that. And you can literally, it's like being in, like when you used to have the party lines, on your phone. I'm sure you guys remember that. And it's an app for your phone, and it's called Echolink, and you just click the button, and you sign into the repeater, and then we're all there. We're all here, just like we are right now. So just something to think about. Anyway, I can't say enough about hanging with you guys. You're all becoming my girlfriends here, and I really enjoy this, and I think what we're doing is very important to get more ladies out here, and I can't thank you guys enough. So I'm going to send this around for our final comments, and I will bid you girls good evening. So over to you, Miss Jennifer. KC2UFU.
W2PHL, thanks, Carrie. Have a great night. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to hear all of you. Love hearing from all of you, as always. I get it. I get the extroverts and the introverts. We're all like dealing with stuff here, so great to reach out and hear everyone. And be safe and be well, and hopefully we'll hear from each other again in 2 weeks, right? Yeah, so W2PHL, back to you.
Yep, that's right. I'm opening my calendar right now to see where does that land? 2 weeks from now. What are we? We're at the 21st. So that'd be July. It's 4th of July. Well, that's not going to work for anybody. So, we'll have to think about that for a second. So let me send it over to you, Miss Karen, KC2UFU.
Well, thank you. I think Jennifer summed it up well. This has definitely been enjoyable, and I just like all the chats when they're serious, fun. So thank you all. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. I look forward to the next one, whether it be July 4th or whenever. I guess I'll find out. But definitely, I didn't realize that with the storms in the summer, it might get a little difficult over the summer, so that's disappointing, but good to know in advance. But I'll certainly participate if the aliens on the antennas allow us. So thanks, Carrie, for running this. I definitely appreciate it, and you brought me into a new world, and I'm really enjoying it. So thank you, and thanks to everyone. Stay safe. Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel.
Very good, Karen. Over to you, Sarah, KB3 OUK.
Thank you, Carrie, and I just want you to know I'm officially adopting you as my ham mom. Yeah, you're officially mine. So I think I'm probably like the youngest one here. So yeah, you're officially my ham mom. But I just appreciate all you do, and looking forward to the next one. And whenever you have it, I'll be here with my baby and my husband on the other end, listening and giving his input too. And we appreciate everything you do for us. Thank you. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one. KB3 OUK.
Very good, Sarah. We're always glad to have you with us. Miss Priscilla, it's K1GTX household, KC2UFU.
Yes, Carrie, I have considered getting a license of some sort. I'm just a little intimidated by all the equipment and all the vocabulary. There's like a whole separate language that goes along with this hobby. And it's a little intimidating to me. I've heard some really different conditions and the language that goes along with it. It just turns my head in there. I don't know if I can sort it all out and get to like, I think I would like to enjoy it.
Very good. And I appreciate you calling me. I've never been a ham mom before, Sarah. I'm so proud. And we love having you here with us, Priscilla. And you're really starting to put it out there and participate a lot more. And we love hearing everything you have to say. And I know it can be difficult getting through some of that on the ham test. Some of the stuff just doesn't seem to relate to anything else or whatever. But some of it you just get to know it. You read the questions enough, and you have your significant other to help you through there. Because it says, I know, ask Ken. I'm like, what is PSK and why do I need to know it? Ken goes, I don't know what it is either. I just know. We'll figure it out. We looked it up and figured it out. So it does take some effort, but it's not too bad, really. Like I said, I never thought I would find myself here, but here I am. Everybody can do it. That's right. Over to you, Miss Lisa, KB3WFV, KC2UFU.
All right. Well, I don't know if I would think about getting a license or not. I don't know. That's up in the air. I think about it and then I back out. So I don't know. I don't know if it's my thing, but it's enjoyable talking to you ladies, and hope everybody has a good week. And until next time, everybody take care.
Yeah, we always love having you here, that's for sure. I know, I just had this great idea. We should have a ladies' retreat weekend. And we could all get together, and of course there'll be wine involved. And then I'll show everybody how to study and master this thing, and before you know it, you guys will all be operators. And then look out, you'll just take over the station. What do you guys think? I think with 4th of July being in 2 weeks, I didn't realize it was on a Saturday. As long as you ladies are good with it, I guess we will go to the following weekend. Even though I just told Phil that it was every 2 weeks, but I did mention holidays. So this happens to be one of those times. So we'll do this again on July 11th at 7 p.m. here on 3885. As long as conditions permit. And until then, I hope everybody, stays safe and sane. I will be working on that, as you guys know, because I've gotten all your great help there, trying to stay sane at work. And, until then, hope everybody just hangs in there and things start to get better. This is KC2UFU saying good evening for Ladies Night 4.0. So if any of you ladies still want to hang out afterwards, that's fine, but I'll be here. So have a good evening. KC2UFU clear.
Yeah, good job, Carrie. Good job, everybody. Everybody sounded great here this evening. And the recording will be up probably in a little while. It takes YouTube a little while to render it. So I'm going to be stopping it now, but 2 thumbs up, guys. Everybody came in great the whole time. Static crashes were negligible here the whole time, so great to hear you. Catch you next time. W3MMR. And hi to Brian, and hi to Phil, and 7-3 to everybody. I'm going to bed. W3MMR.
Hey, Perry. This is Karen. This is Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel's wife. Just wanted to say hello before I head out, and I love the comment that Sarah made about Carrie being her ham mom. I totally agree. That's so awesome. Although she's not old enough, we're probably like the same age. She's my ham sister. All right, so Carrie, I don't know if you're still out there, but I will mention that in 3 weeks when we meet. We'll be ham sisters. All right, thanks. Everyone have a great night. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm still here. That works for me, Karen.
Yeah. Oop. See you, Karen. Hi, Karen. Bye, Karen. Catch you guys later. Guys and gals, excuse me. I don't know, I always say guys is like a all-inclusive. To me, it means everyone. Catch you later. W3MMR, clear and listening. 7-3.